Denmark got a lot of attention in the roller coaster community in 2022, mainly because of the addition of Phoenix. But this country already had a robust coaster lineup that included classic wood coasters, thrilling Intamin creations, and so much more. So in this video, I will rank Denmark's top 20 roller coasters. Before starting this list, I want to note that you will not see Hundepruten, aka the dog fart coaster, on this list. This infamous kiddie coaster at Bon Bon Land featuring a defecating dog is just too unique for a list like this. It's not fair to rate it against everything else. Number 20. Flagermusen at Farup Summerland. This is your basic Reverchon spinning coaster. The initial section has some laterals, then you get a little bit of airtime on the first drop and the double up, but this one shines in the second half. When the spinning unlocks, the ride becomes much more exciting. These cars spun quite fast, making it a disorienting experience. Number 19. Dragon at Legoland Billund. Like its namesakes across the globe, this coaster starts with a slow dark ride segment past some nice Lego medieval figures. This is the highlight of the ride for me. Then you have a powered coaster. It starts with a pseudo launch as you accelerate past the station and head outdoors for some helixes. This section is very tame, but it is well landscaped at least. Number 18. Flying Eagle at Legoland Billund. This Zier family coaster is a solid ride. If you're familiar with Runaway Tram at Maurice Piers, this is a clone. It is super smooth while offering some mild force in the turns and even one spot of airtime. Then you have some nice rock work and also get 2 laps to make the wait worth your while. Number 17. Skatoween at Djurs Summerland. This is one of the better mock water coasters. The theming surprised me in a good way. You have these giant rocks, ships, pirates, and even a massive Kraken animatronic. This is all before you hit the lift hill. Then the coaster section doesn't have the rattle of the other water coasters. The large spiral drop is pretty tame, but the final drop is profiled in a way like Poseidon that gives a delayed but solid floater burst of airtime. Then you cruise over a bunny hill with some weightlessness and get a refreshing splash at the end. Number 16. Handkatten at Bon Bon Land. This Gerstlauer spinner has the same layout as Six Flags Mexico's Joker, and it can give some crazy rides if you have an off-balanced car. The first half has some okay helixes, but the second half ups the ante. You'll be spinning at your fastest, and you also get a few pops of airtime before hitting the brakes. Number 15. Orkanen at Farup Summerland. This Vekoma suspended coaster is the ride that was cloned for Dollywood's Dragon Flyer, and I can see why because it's super smooth and fun for all ages. But this one has a much better setting than the one in the US. This one takes place above the water. You have 2 underwater tunnels filled with mist. From a thrill perspective, the best moment by far is the initial overbank that comes darn close to being an inversion. It has some serious force to it. Then the rest of the helixes have a pinch of force as well. Number 14. Rutschbahn at Bakken. This scenic railway was unfortunately neutered a few years ago. It received more restrictive Kumbach trains and automatic brakes that slowed the ride way down. While the ride travels extremely slow at points, both double downs at least give very nice airtime in the back car. Then you have that one-of-a-kind tunnel that goes in between a woman's legs. Yes, you heard that right. And the coaster is at least running smoothly despite its age. Number 13. Mine Train Ulven at Bakken. This Intamin family coaster feels like a mine train. Most of the ride whizzes past trees and rockwork. There are some scary head choppers. Then you also have a series of helixes, some of which are decently forceful. But the best part is that first drop. If you ride in the back, you will get some serious whip and even a pop of airtime. Number 12. Wildsvina at Bon Bon Land. This is the original Gerstlauer Eurofighter. Between its age and over-the-shoulder restraints, I was worried it would be a headbanger, but thankfully it was reasonably smooth. That made it possible to enjoy the layout in full. It's short but satisfying. The signature Beyond Vertical Drop has some good ejector airtime. The lone inversion, the vertical loop, is quite forceful. Then the second half is an okay helix and a small pop of airtime into the brakes. Number 11. Thor's Hammer at Djurs Summerland. This Gerstlauer bobsled is a clone of Tripstrill's Gesandte Sau, but this one does seem to run a bit slower. However, it is still a well above average Wild Mouse coaster. The first drop has some punch to it. The hairpin turns offer good laterals, and most helixes, particularly those in the first half, have good positive Gs. Where this ride falters compared to the original is in the airtime department. Only one of the final bunny hills had a pop of airtime, and it was on the weaker side. But the coaster is otherwise solid between its diversity, smoothness, and landscaping. Number 10. Falcon at Faroop Summerland. This rare S&S wood coaster features an out-and-back layout with some underrated airtime. The largest drop and first two camelbacks have some awesome sustained floater airtime, particularly in the back car. However, this coaster is far from smooth. The train jitters on all the turns and several valleys. The trains can absorb a lot of the shuffling, but not all of it, so this may not be for you if you're intolerant of a rough ride. Number 9. Polar Explorer at Legoland Billund. This Zier creation is the best coaster currently in operation at a Legoland park. This is definitely a family coaster, but it does have some oomph to it. The first drop has some laterals, the speed hills have a pinch of airtime, and the helixes have positive Gs to them. And the layout is plus by theming. Most of it takes place around an icy mountain, but then you have some Lego figures in the second half, plus a penguin exhibit on the brake run. Plus there's one other trick that I don't want to spoil here, but it was my favorite part of the ride. Number 8. Drao Kong at Jers Summerland. This intimate inverted coaster toes the line between family and thrill coaster. The ride starts with a fun launch sequence, especially with all the lighting effects, and then the main outdoor layout is packed with positive Gs, most notably on the low turns and helixes. I was not expecting this ride to be as forceful as it was. I also was not expecting this coaster to be as shaky as it was. The ride already has a very noticeable rattle, especially towards the back rows, but the open restraints at least prevent any headbanging. Then along with the ride itself, you have some nice theming and landscaping. Number 7. Daymond at Tivoli Gardens. This may be the smallest Bolliger and Mabillard floorless coaster, but it is unique. It reminds me of Hershey Park's Great Bear. You start with an elevated helix with some fun views. Then the main layout has some bite if you ride in the back row. The first drop has some whip and airtime. Then you have 3 quick inversions that are quite snappy, but my favorite has to be the 0G roll that you charge through faster than usual. Yes, it's a short ride, but you have to be impressed B&M found a way to cram this coaster into where they did. Number 6. Lena at Faroop Summerland. This Gerstlauer launch coaster is a good first 2/3. The initial LSM launch has some serious power. You are pinned to your seat back and yanked down the launch track. The top hat offers very sustained laterals plus some floater airtime. Then the camelback offers nice sustained ejector. You get popped out of your seat entering both mid-course brake runs, and the 2 corkscrews have great hang time. The finale is quite slow and weak though, but the ride thankfully never gets too rough even though it has over-the-shoulder restraints. Just expect a head tap on a few transitions. Number 5. Tornado at Bakken. This intimate spinning coaster has the stats of a family coaster, but do not be fooled. This ride has a real mean streak to it. What looks like your average lift hill is essentially a launch. You are thrown over the first drop. Your body is violently thrown diagonally. It is an extremely abrupt lateral and airtime moment. Then you have a series of helixes. If you ride this coaster normally, the rest of the ride feels like a Gerstlauer spinning family coaster. But if you get boost mode, the rest of the ride is pure chaos. In boost mode, the operators speed up the lift hill, disable the trims, and spin the car out of the station. This causes the vehicle to spin like a top start to finish. The centripetal forces are insane. Few rides have made me dizzier, and I loved every second of it. Number 4. Juvelin at Jers Summerland. This intimate motorbike coaster is pure fun. The first launch is theatric, and the tire-propelled launch has some surprising yank to it. The first half is okay, but it is the second half that makes this coaster. The second launch provides a surprising boost, and you rocket through the second half far faster than you'd expect. It feels like you're on 2x speed. You whip through turns and shoot past theming faster than you can recognize it. The sense of speed is phenomenal, and the ride is very well landscaped and quite smooth too, making it a crowd pleaser. Number 3. Phoenix at Fairhope Summerland. The prototype Vekoma Wildcat has a wonderful blend of airtime and inversions. There are nearly a dozen airtime pops. It was mostly floater airtime, but the first drop does offer stronger and more sustained airtime in the back car. Then you have 3 excellent inversions. The stall loop has incredible hang time. Then the barrel roll and corkscrews offer incredible whip and laterals as the train hauls through them. The one thing this coaster was missing is the positive G's of something like Lek Coaster, but that was deliberate on the park's behalf to make it a more family-friendly ride, so I get why they did it. But the Rapid Fire series of elements keeps the pacing strong and is a glass-smooth ride. Number 2. Rutschbahn at Tivoli Gardens. Unlike its sister coaster at Bakken, this scenic railway still runs with the old trains and a brakeman or brakewoman. You have no seatbelts and just a lap bar that can be really loose. So there are several drops in this ride that will fling you a foot into the air. That's especially true if you get the right brakeman or brakewoman. Some are more conservative than others, but you can get some shocking ejector airtime with the right one. But this coaster is even more to offer than just negative G's. The turns are unbanked, and because you have no seat divider, you can slide side to side. Then I love this ride's location as it takes place in and around a themed mountain. Then Tivoli takes pristine care of this ride. And coming in at number 1 is Piraten at Jers Summerland. Europe's only Megalite showed me what this model was capable of. It runs so much better than the one at Tobu Zoo between the faster lift hill, fuller trains, and constant cycling. Now this ride still needs time to warm up, but it wowed me in the afternoon. The first drop and large S hill only have moderate floater airtime, but all the other hills try to launch you into the ionosphere. The ejector airtime reminded me of Intamin's larger hypers, and that's a good thing. Those middle S hills were particularly intense. I was not expecting that much airtime and lateral simultaneously. Then the low turns throw in positive G's for variety. For years, I was surprised why this ride got so much praise from enthusiasts, but now I know why. So those are my top 20 favorite coasters in Denmark. What are your favorite coasters in this country? Is Piraten your favorite as well? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this countdown, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.